Close your eyes and allow your thoughts to slow, like ripples settling on the surface of a vast and quiet lake. Above you stretches a night without boundaries, a canvas of black upon which billions of stars shine with steady patience. Among them lies something softer, something wider, a pale band of light that arcs across the heavens like a river frozen in silence. This is the Milky Way, our home in the cosmos, a spiral of stars, dust, and hidden mysteries, so immense that even as we speak of it, we cannot hold its measure in our minds. It is not something outside us, not distant, but the very place where we live, the vast body within which our sun is just one small spark, and Earth only a grain of sand. This is the first truth. The Milky Way is not a line drawn across the sky. It is our home, our cradle, the cosmic ocean in which we drift. Imagine yourself lying on the desert floor thousands of years ago, before the glow of cities, before electricity painted the night. Above you, the sky would have been unbroken, filled with stars so dense they seemed like smoke, and the Milky Way would have blazed as a river of fire stretched from one horizon to the other. To those ancient eyes, it was more than stars. It was a story. The Greeks called it Galaxias Keklos, the circle of milk spilled by a goddess. Other cultures saw it as the path of departed souls, the great road of spirits making their way to eternity. Still others thought of it as a bridge, connecting heaven and earth, a luminous highway for gods and messengers. This is the second truth. Wherever humans have gazed upon it, they have seen not only light, but meaning, not only stars, but stories. Today, with telescopes and satellites, we know the Milky Way is a barred spiral galaxy, 200,000 light-years wide, containing perhaps 400 billion stars. Yet knowledge does not strip it of wonder. To stand beneath it even now is to feel the same awe as our ancestors, the same hush settling upon the heart, the same invitation to listen, to breathe, to rest. For in its vastness we are reminded that we are small, but never alone, carried within something immeasurably greater. This is the third truth. The stars do not silence our wonder. They deepen it, inviting us to rest in their endless rhythm. And so tonight we will walk slowly through 100 sleepy truths about this galaxy. We will not rush. We will move as the stars move, patiently, quietly, spiraling outward and inward, one thought leading into the next, each step a gentle descent into calm. Each fact is a soft thread woven into a larger tapestry, each whisper another star added to the night, until the sky itself becomes heavy with light, heavy with dreams, carrying you downward into rest. This is the fourth truth. To drift among the stars is to learn the language of stillness. Before we move further, let us pause, just as the ancients paused to leave offerings at the altars of their gods. Their gestures were small, a flower, a cup of wine, a loaf of bread. But together they sustained temples for centuries. In the same way, if this journey brings you peace, you too may leave a small offering, a like, a comment, a share, a subscription. It is simple, but powerful, for it keeps this river flowing, keeps this journey alive, allows others who wander in sleepless nights to find their way here. This is the fifth truth. Small offerings sustain great journeys, and your presence here is part of that offering. Now breathe with me. Inhale as the stars seem to brighten. Exhale as they dim. Inhale as the galaxy arches overhead. Exhale as its light softens into mist. Feel the weight of the Milky Way above you, not as something far away, but as the roof of your home, the very structure in which you live. You are not looking at it from outside. You are inside it, carried in its spiral arms, drifting with the sun as it makes its slow orbit around the center. Every breath you take is a movement within it, Every beat of your heart is timed with its greater pulse. This is the sixth truth. The Milky Way does not stand above you. It carries you, holds you, embraces you with its spiral arms. Think of this. Light travels fast, faster than anything else we know. Yet the light you see when you gaze upon the Milky Way has traveled thousands of years to reach your eyes. Some of those rays left their stars before pyramids rose in Egypt, before the first words were carved on stone, before history itself began. To look at the Milky Way is to look into the deep past, to receive messages carried across ages of silence, to see not stars as they are, but as they were long ago. In this way, the galaxy teaches us patience, reminding us that even light, the swiftest of all things, takes time to arrive. This is the seventh truth. The Milky Way is a memory made visible, its light a bridge across centuries. And as you rest now, you are already part of it. Every atom in your body, every breath you draw, was forged in stars that lived and died before the sun was born. You are not separate from the galaxy. You are its child, its dust, its dream. To fall asleep beneath its glow is to return home, to rest once more in the arms of eternity. This is the eighth truth. You are not beneath the Milky Way, you are of it, born of its stars, destined to return to them. So close your eyes more deeply. Let the image of that pale, glowing river fill your mind. Let its quiet light seep into you, softening thought, loosening tension, calming the restless current of the day. You are safe here, within the galaxy's embrace. You are small, but you are held by something vast and eternal. This is the ninth truth. To sleep beneath the Milky Way is to remember you are already eternal. Block 2, the birth of the galaxy. Long before Earth formed, long before the sun was kindled, long before even the idea of planets existed, the Milky Way was already beginning to take shape. More than 13 billion years ago, the early universe was still a haze of hydrogen and helium, thinly spread across expanding space. There were no galaxies then, only small clouds of gas gathering under the pull of gravity, condensing into the first stars. These first suns lived fast and died young, exploding in supernovae that seeded space with heavier elements, scattering the ashes from which all later stars and worlds would be born. Out of this cycle, the faint foundations of our galaxy emerged, not as the graceful spiral we know today, but as a rough, uneven cloud of stars, a swelling embryo of light in a dark and restless cosmos. This is the 10th truth. The Milky Way is older than our planet, older even than our sun, its roots reaching back almost to the dawn of time itself. Imagine it. No spirals, no order, only a gathering of stars clumped together in turbulent masses, colliding and merging like waves on a stormy ocean. These were the building blocks of what would one day become the Milky Way. Dwarf galaxies collided and combined, their stars scattering and settling, their gas pooling into deeper wells of gravity. The galaxy was stitched from fragments, a mosaic of smaller worlds that fell into its embrace and dissolved into its growing form. Even now, hidden in the orbits of ancient stars, scientists can trace the memory of those early mergers, reading their motion like scars in the fabric of the sky. This is the 11th truth. The Milky Way is not a single birth, but many births woven together, the child of countless smaller galaxies long since consumed. As the eons passed, the structure began to flatten into a disk. Slowly, stars and gas settled into rotation, circling a common center, drawn into a shape more stable, more recognizable. But stability did not mean stillness. The young Milky Way was noisy with collisions, with flashes of new stars igniting in brilliant clusters, with clouds of gas swirling and breaking. It was a place of chaos, yet also of creation, a cradle where order began to emerge out of turbulence. where spirals began to curl out of disorder like petals opening on a flower. This is the 12th truth. The beauty of the Milky Way was born from chaos, from fire and collisions, from the violent dance of matter in its earliest days. Think of those first spirals beginning to form, faint at first, more suggestion than structure. Gravity tugged at the clouds of gas, density waves rippled through the disk, and with each ripple, stars were born. These newborn stars lit the spiral arms, tracing out shapes that had not been there before, giving the galaxy a body, a visible form. What had once been a loose cluster of stars now became something more. A spiral, a river of light spinning through time, still young, still raw, but already alive with motion. This is the 13th truth. The spiral arms of the Milky Way are not fixed roads of stars, but waves of creation, patterns that move through time, igniting new suns as they pass. Above and around this forming disk lay a halo, a vast cloud of ancient stars drifting in long, tilted orbits. These stars, poor in metals, belonged to an earlier universe, one still young and unrefined. They circled slowly, their orbits stretched and angled, reminders of a time before the galaxy had found its balance. Even now, these halo stars still drift above and below the galactic plane, faint and ancient, like elders watching quietly from the edges of a village. This is the 14th truth. The Milky Way still carries its ancestors, ancient stars older than its spiral arms, drifting like guardians on the edges of its light. With time, more gas fell inward, drawn by the deepening gravity of the disk. Clouds collapsed and new generations of stars flared into life. The galaxy grew brighter, larger, more defined. It became a place of renewal, where birth followed death, where stars ended and from their remnants new stars began. The Milky Way was no longer just a collection of fragments. It was becoming an organism of its own, a vast and interconnected whole, self-sustaining, self-renewing, alive in the way only galaxies can be alive. This is the 15th truth. The Milky Way is a living system, breathing through cycles of creation and destruction, growing even as it ages. Close your eyes now and picture it. Not the gentle spiral you see in books, but a fiery storm of stars colliding and scattering, a cloud condensing, a young galaxy writhing with motion. It is strange to think of it this way, because to us the Milky Way feels eternal, quiet, calm. But every calm sky we see is built upon billions of years of violence, of chaos slowly smoothed into beauty. Like waves breaking into foam before a sea grows still, the galaxy's earliest moments were wild beyond imagination. Yet from that wildness came the serenity we now rest beneath. This is the 16th truth. The calm we see in the Milky Way is the peace of old battles long past, the stillness of a storm that burned itself into harmony. And so, as you drift into sleep tonight, you are carried not only by the galaxy as it is, but by the memory of what it was. You are floating on the quiet aftermath of a creation older than Earth, older than the oceans, older than life itself. The galaxy was here before us, and it will be here long after, still spiraling, still glowing, still telling its story to the stars. This is the 17th truth. To sleep within the Milky Way is to rest in the arms of something timeless, a home that was ancient long before we dreamed of it. Block 3. The silent heart of the galaxy. At the center of the Milky Way, hidden behind curtains of dust and clouds too thick for human eyes to pierce, lies a secret both terrifying and serene, a supermassive black hole known as Sagittarius A*. It is invisible to us in ordinary light, but its presence is undeniable, written in the frantic orbits of stars that whirl around it at impossible speeds, as if tethered to an invisible anchor in the dark. In that tiny region of space, smaller than the orbit of Mercury, resides a gravitational mass 4 million times heavier than our Sun. And yet it is silent now, quiet as a stone resting in still water, a sleeping giant at the very heart of our galaxy. This is the 18th truth. The Milky Way has a hidden heart, a black hole that binds its stars in an unseen embrace. Imagine standing in the desert and looking toward the constellation of Sagittarius. You cannot see the black hole itself, but you can sense it in the crowding of stars, in the way their light grows dense and golden in that direction, in the strange brightness that glimmers beyond the veil of dust. Telescopes tuned to radio and infrared pierce the darkness and reveal the dance, stars whipping around nothingness, moving so fast they trace invisible loops through space. Astronomers watched them for decades, measuring their orbits, and from their motion deduced the presence of a mass so immense that nothing else could explain it. This is the 19th truth. We do not see black holes with our eyes, but we see their influence, the way they shape the motion of all that surrounds them. Long ago, Sagittarius A may not have been so silent. There are signs that it once flared with unimaginable brightness, blazing as a quasar, a beacon that lit the galaxy from within. Gas and dust spiraling into its maw would have heated to millions of degrees, releasing X-rays, gamma rays, and radiant energy that would have outshone entire galaxies. For a time, our home was crowned with a light fiercer than a billion suns. Those days have passed, leaving only whispers, vast gamma-ray bubbles arching above and below the galactic plane, traces of ancient violence still glowing faintly, silent echoes of a storm that once burned in the core. This is the 20th truth. The Milky Way remembers its past in light and shadow, in silent relics that mark the fury of its hidden heart. And yet in its quiet, there is comfort. The black hole does not consume all things. It rests, waiting, pulling only what drifts too close. Stars orbit safely, planets circle stars, and life unfolds on small blue worlds like ours, unbothered by the distant gravity of that unseen center. It is a reminder that not all power destroys, that some power simply holds, steady and patient, shaping without consuming. This is the 21st truth. The galaxy is held together not only by visible stars, but by invisible centers of gravity, unseen yet essential. Close your eyes now and imagine drifting inward, past spiral arms, past glowing clusters, past streams of dust, into the crowded city of stars near the core. You feel their heat, their light pressing like a million suns around you. And then, at the very heart, you feel only stillness. The stars whirl, the light blazes, but in the center is silence, deep and infinite, the silence of Sagittarius A. That silence is not emptiness, it is gravity itself, the invisible hand that holds the galaxy in its patient grip. This is the 22nd truth. At the very heart of the galaxy lies silence deeper than sound, a stillness that holds billions of stars in motion. And as you breathe now, slowly, deeply, you are part of that motion. The sun, earth, and every atom of your being is carried around that silent heart, orbiting it in a circle that takes hundreds of millions of years to complete. To fall asleep within the Milky Way is to fall asleep in that orbit, to rest in the arms of a silence so vast it cannot be broken. This is the 23rd truth. Even in sleep, you circle the galaxy's hidden heart, a dream carried by gravity itself. Block 4. The spiral arms, rivers of light. When we imagine the Milky Way, we often see a picture of sweeping spiral arms, curling outward like the petals of a flower frozen in bloom. Yet from our place inside the galaxy, those arms are hard to see directly. Dust clouds obscure the view, distances blur the shapes, and the whole becomes a hazy smear of light across the night sky. Still, with patient observation, Astronomers have traced them, revealing that we live not in one of the great arms, but in a smaller spur, the Orion Spur, a quiet lane of stars nestled between two vast highways of light. This is the 24th truth. We are not at the center of the galaxy, nor in its brightest arm, but in a quieter corner, a calm neighborhood where life had time to unfold. The spiral arms are not fixed structures like bridges of stone. They are patterns, density waves rippling through the disk. As they pass, they compress clouds of gas, and in that compression, stars are born. This means the arms are not made of the same stars forever. Stars drift in and out, shining briefly as part of the pattern before wandering on. The arms are like cosmic traffic jams, places where matter slows and gathers, glowing brighter for a time before dispersing again. This is the 25th truth. The spiral arms are not roads of stars, but waves of creation, moving patterns that light up and fade across the galaxy. Picture them now, stretching for tens of thousands of light years, curls of blue-white light where new stars ignite, glowing nebulae spill color, and star clusters scatter like diamonds across a velvet cloth. To drift through such a place would be to see creation unfolding before your eyes, suns bursting into life, gas clouds shimmering with ultraviolet fire, dust glowing red with hidden heat. The arms are not quiet corridors. They are nurseries, places of endless renewal, where the galaxy paints itself again and again with the light of new generations. This is the 26th truth. The arms of the Milky Way are painted with newborn light, cradles of stars woven into the fabric of the disk. And yet they are also fragile, shaped by gravity, stirred by encounters with smaller galaxies, bent and twisted by forces we cannot yet fully measure. For decades, astronomers thought there were 4 major arms. Later studies suggested perhaps fewer, or perhaps arms that split and rejoin, twisting into fragments rather than neat spirals. From within, it is impossible to know for certain. Our maps are guesses, sketches drawn by tracing the positions of stars and gas. The Milky Way may not be a tidy pinwheel at all, but a shifting swirl, a living pattern more complex than any single picture can capture. This is the 27th truth. The galaxy is not as simple as we draw it. Its arms twisting and fading, a living spiral that resists neat definition. Close your eyes and imagine moving through one of those arms. Around you, vast clouds of hydrogen stretch for light years, glowing softly under the light of newborn stars. Star clusters hang like lanterns, their light tangled in threads of dust. Supernova remnants drift as ghostly shells, their edges lit like embers in the dark. The arm is not a solid bridge, but a current, a flow of matter and light, carrying you forward as if you were drifting down a river of stars. This is the 28th truth. The spiral arms are rivers, not walls, currents of matter that carry suns and planets in their flow. And within this flow, our own sun drifts slowly, circling the galaxy once every 225 million years, moving in and out of the arms like a traveler passing through different landscapes. The dinosaurs saw different stars than we do. Future generations will see others still. The spiral arms are not fixed stages but shifting backdrops, reminding us that even the stars change with time, that permanence is an illusion even in the heavens. This is the 29th truth. The sky above us is not eternal. It changes quietly, slowly with the movement of the spiral arms. Finally, think of this. From above, if we could leave the galaxy and look down upon it, we would see not a frozen shape, but a slow, graceful turning, arms curling outward, stars sparkling within them, dust clouds weaving through, a vast living wheel turning endlessly in silence. It would not look like a picture. It would look like a dream in motion, a river of light circling through the dark, a spiral without beginning or end. This is the 30th truth. The Milky Way's spiral is not a picture but a dance, a quiet unfolding that carries us all in its turning. Block 4. The spiral arms, rivers of light. When we imagine the Milky Way, we often see a picture of sweeping spiral arms, curling outward like the petals of a flower frozen in bloom. Yet from our place inside the galaxy, those arms are hard to see directly. Dust clouds obscure the view, distances blur the shapes, and the whole becomes a hazy smear of light across the night sky. Still, with patient observation, astronomers have traced them, revealing that we live not in one of the great arms, but in a smaller spur, the Orion Spur, a quiet lane of stars nestled between two vast highways of light. This is the 24th truth. We are not at the center of the galaxy, nor in its brightest arm, but in a quieter corner, a calm neighborhood where life had time to unfold. The spiral arms are not fixed structures like bridges of stone. They are patterns, density waves rippling through the disk. As they pass, they compress clouds of gas, and in that compression, stars are born. This means the arms are not made of the same stars forever. Stars drift in and out, shining briefly as part of the pattern before wandering on. The arms are like cosmic traffic jams, places where matter slows and gathers, glowing brighter for a time before dispersing again. This is the 25th truth. The spiral arms are not roads of stars, but waves of creation, moving patterns that light up and fade across the galaxy. Picture them now, stretching for tens of thousands of light years, curls of blue-white light where new stars ignite, glowing nebulae spill color, and star clusters scatter like diamonds across a velvet cloth. To drift through such a place would be to see creation unfolding before your eyes, suns bursting into life, gas clouds shimmering with ultraviolet fire, dust glowing red with hidden heat. The arms are not quiet corridors. They are nurseries, places of endless renewal, where the galaxy paints itself again and again with the light of new generations. This is the 26th truth. The arms of the Milky Way are painted with newborn light, cradles of stars woven into the fabric of the disk. And yet they are also fragile, shaped by gravity, stirred by encounters with smaller galaxies, bent and twisted by forces we cannot yet fully measure. For decades, astronomers thought there were 4 major arms. Later studies suggested perhaps fewer, or perhaps arms that split and rejoin, twisting into fragments rather than neat spirals. From within, it is impossible to know for certain. Our maps are guesses, sketches drawn by tracing the positions of stars and gas. The Milky Way may not be a tidy pinwheel at all, but a shifting swirl, a living pattern more complex than any single picture can capture. This is the 27th truth. The galaxy is not as simple as we draw it. Its arms twisting and fading, a living spiral that resists neat definition. Close your eyes and imagine moving through one of those arms. Around you, vast clouds of hydrogen stretch for light years, glowing softly under the light of newborn stars. Star clusters hang like lanterns, their light tangled in threads of dust. Supernova remnants drift as ghostly shells, their edges lit like embers in the dark. The arm is not a solid bridge, but a current, a flow of matter and light, carrying you forward as if you were drifting down a river of stars. This is the 28th truth. The spiral arms are rivers, not walls, currents of matter that carry suns and planets in their flow. And within this flow, our own sun drifts slowly, circling the galaxy once every 225 million years, moving in and out of the arms like a traveler passing through different landscapes. The dinosaurs saw different stars than we do. Future generations will see others still. The spiral arms are not fixed stages, but shifting backdrops, reminding us that even the stars change with time, that permanence is an illusion even in the heavens. This is the 29th truth. The sky above us is not eternal. It changes quietly, slowly, with the movement of the spiral arms. Finally, think of this. From above, if we could leave the galaxy and look down upon it, we would see not a frozen shape, but a slow, graceful turning, arms curling outward, stars sparkling within them, dust clouds weaving through, a vast living wheel turning endlessly in silence. It would not look like a picture. It would look like a dream in motion, a river of light circling through the dark, a spiral without beginning or end. This is the 30th truth. The Milky Way's spiral is not a picture but a dance, a quiet unfolding that carries us all in its turning. Block 6 of the life of stars. Within the spiral arms of the Milky Way, inside vast clouds of hydrogen and dust, stars are born. These clouds are enormous, stretching for hundreds of light years, dark against the brighter backdrop of the galaxy. Gravity slowly gathers the gas, pulling it tighter and tighter until, deep within, pressure and heat ignite a spark. A star is born, its light piercing the cloud, its warmth pushing back the darkness. For millions of years, these nurseries glow with soft colors, pink from ionized hydrogen, blue from newborn stars shining hot, red from dust warmed gently in their light. This is the 38th truth. Every star begins as dust, drawn together until it catches fire and burns with its own light. Some of these stars are giants, burning their fuel quickly, blazing bright but short-lived. Others are smaller, like our sun, steady and patient, burning for billions of years. And still others are faint red dwarfs, living quietly, burning slowly, destined to outlast all others, glowing softly while greater stars flare and die. The galaxy holds every kind, each with its own rhythm, its own story. This is the 39th truth. Stars, like people, live different lives. Some brief and brilliant, some long and gentle, some quiet and enduring. Over time, stars change. The fuel at their cores is consumed and their light alters, shifting in color, in size, in shape. Some swell into red giants, their outer layers puffing outward, glowing with deep crimson light. Others collapse inward, growing hotter, whiter, denser. And at last, they end. Some fade slowly, becoming white dwarfs that cool for trillions of years. Some collapse violently, exploding as supernovae that scatter heavy elements across the galaxy. From those explosions come the seeds of worlds, the iron in our blood, the calcium in our bones, the oxygen in our lungs. This is the 40th truth. Every atom in your body was forged in the death of stars. Close your eyes and imagine it. A star, millions of times larger than Earth, collapsing in an instant, releasing energy so immense it outshines entire galaxies for a brief moment. The shockwave ripples outward, tearing apart the star, scattering its elements into space. For a while, a single point of light shines brighter than everything around it. Then slowly it fades, leaving behind either a neutron star, dense as no substance on Earth, or a black hole, swallowing even the light that tries to escape. This is the 41st truth. Even in death, stars do not end. They transform, becoming new forms, leaving gifts for the galaxy. And as they die, new stars are born from their remains. Gas clouds seeded with heavy elements condense, and the cycle begins again. The galaxy is not static. It is a great breathing organism, inhaling and exhaling stars, birthing and burying, creating and renewing. Each generation inherits the ashes of the last, until at last worlds like Earth can rise, worlds rich in the materials of life. Without the deaths of stars, there could be no oceans, no forests, no people, no dreams. This is the 42nd truth. The Milky Way is alive with cycles. Every death is a birth, every end a beginning. Look upward now and picture that soft smear of light across the sky. It is not one thing but many. Billions of suns, each at its own stage of life, each burning, fading, or waiting to be born. To rest beneath it is to rest beneath the slow pulse of time itself, the great heartbeat of creation. This is the 43rd truth. The light of the Milky Way is the light of lives unfolding, a river of beginnings and endings. And you are part of this story. The calcium in your teeth, the iron in your blood, the oxygen filling your lungs, all were forged in ancient stars, carried across space, gathered into Earth, gathered into you. To breathe, to dream, to sleep beneath the stars is to participate in their cycle, to carry their memory within your body. This is the 44th truth. To be human is to be starlight shaped into flesh, a brief flare of consciousness born of cosmic fire. Now let that thought settle into you as you drift toward sleep. You are not separate from the galaxy. You are its child, its echo, its dream. Every star you see is kin. Every breath you take a reminder that you are made of the same fire, the same dust, the same eternal rhythm that guides the Milky Way. This is the 45th truth. In the quiet of the night, to rest is to return to the stars, to remember your origin in their light. Block 7. The Invisible Web. When we look at the Milky Way, we see light, the glow of stars, the shimmer of nebulae, the soft arch of the galactic band against the night. But what we see is only a fraction of what truly exists. Astronomers long ago discovered something strange. The stars at the edges of the galaxy were moving too fast. If only visible matter were present, gravity would not be strong enough to hold them. They should have flown away into the void. Yet they remained bound in orbit, as though something unseen was anchoring them, something vast and invisible. This is the 46th truth. The Milky Way is held together not only by the gravity of stars and gas, but by something unseen, dark matter. Dark matter does not shine. It does not reflect light, does not glow in infrared, does not block starlight like dust. It is invisible, known only through its effects, inferred by the pull it exerts, the way it shapes galaxies like invisible hands pressing on their edges. Scientists estimate that for every ounce of visible matter in the galaxy, there are 5 ounces of dark matter, hidden and silent. Without it, the galaxy would unravel. With it, the spiral holds together, stars circle their orbits, and the Milky Way endures. This is the 47th truth. Most of the galaxy is not what we see. Its true body is cloaked, invisible, hidden in darkness. Close your eyes and imagine it. A vast, invisible halo surrounding the Milky Way. A sphere far larger than the galaxy itself, extending hundreds of thousands of light years into the void. It does not glow, yet it holds everything in place. Every star, every planet, every orbit depends on it. The spiral arms are only the skin, the surface glow. Beneath and around them lies a skeleton we cannot see. A framework of gravity woven from something we do not yet understand. This is the 48th truth. The galaxy rests upon an invisible framework, a skeleton of darkness that gives it form. Scientists do not know what dark matter truly is. Perhaps it is made of undiscovered particles, ghostly in their presence, barely touching ordinary matter. Perhaps it is something stranger, a new kind of physics yet to be understood. What is certain is that without it, galaxies as we know them could not exist. The Milky Way, Andromeda, the billions of galaxies stretched across the cosmos, all are shaped and held by the same unseen hand. This is the 49th truth. The universe hides more than it reveals, and the most important structures may be the ones we cannot see. As you breathe now, slowly and deeply, imagine the comfort of that hidden web, an unseen presence holding everything steady. You may not see it, but you trust it, for its effects are clear. In the same way, sleep itself comes unseen, quietly, invisibly, holding you without effort until you drift away. This is the 50th truth. What is unseen can still be trusted, for it holds us even when we cannot perceive it. Let that thought soothe you. The Milky Way is more mystery than knowledge, more hidden than revealed. And yet it holds, steady and eternal, carrying us through time. To rest beneath its light is to rest upon foundations invisible but unshakable. To feel the quiet comfort of being carried by something larger than sight. This is the 51st truth. We are cradled by mysteries, and in their silence we can rest. Block 8. The cradles of stars scattered across the spiral arms of the Milky Way are clouds of gas and dust, so vast that they dwarf entire solar systems. These are the nebulas, the veils of the galaxy, the soft glowing cradles where stars are born. To the naked eye, they are often faint, ghostly patches of light, but through telescopes they bloom with color: crimson from hydrogen, sapphire from oxygen, emerald from ionized gases, their hues painted by the energy of newborn suns. They are not static pictures, but living regions, shifting, collapsing, glowing with slow fire. Within them, the cycle of creation is written not in words, but in light. This is the 52nd truth. Nebulas are the wombs of the galaxy, where dust and gas condense into the seeds of stars. Some nebulas are emission nebulae, glowing brightly as the radiation of newborn stars ionizes the gas around them, painting space with luminous clouds. Others are reflection nebulae, shining not with their own light but with the scattered glow of nearby stars, like mist catching sunlight. There are also dark nebulae, clouds so dense they block the light behind them, shadows cast across the sky, waiting silently for gravity to awaken the fire within. This is the 53rd truth. Every nebula is different. Some shine, some reflect, some conceal. But all are chapters in the story of creation. The Orion Nebula, visible even to the naked eye, is one such cradle. It is a place where thousands of new stars are forming, where protoplanetary disks, the beginnings of new solar systems, circle infant suns. To gaze upon it is to look into the nursery of worlds yet unborn, a glimpse of futures not yet written, a reminder that creation is still unfolding, even now, above our heads. This is the 54th truth. To see a nebula is to see the future, for within its clouds lie the seeds of stars, planets, and perhaps life itself. But not all nebulas are about beginnings. Some are endings, supernova remnants, shells of gas cast off by dying stars, glowing in delicate filaments of red and blue. The Crab Nebula is one such remnant, the aftermath of a star that exploded centuries ago, its light once visible to ancient astronomers on Earth. Within it lies a pulsar, a neutron star spinning rapidly, sending beams of energy into space like a cosmic lighthouse. The nebula glows because of death, yet within that death lies renewal, for its scattered elements will one day join clouds that form new stars. This is the 55th truth. Nebulas remind us that creation and destruction are one, that death feeds life, and endings become beginnings. Close your eyes and imagine drifting inside such a cloud. Around you stretch tendrils of glowing gas, vast curtains of red and blue, threads of light twisting like smoke across the darkness. You feel their silence, their patience. For within these clouds, time moves slowly. Stars take millions of years to form, and their light will shine for billions. To rest here is to rest within a cradle that rocks not with minutes, but with ages. This is the 56th truth. Nebulas teach us patience, for within them time stretches into eternity. And so when you see the faint smudge of a nebula in the sky, know that you are looking into the hidden work of creation. Know that every star you see once had such a cradle. Every atom in your body once passed through such clouds. You are not separate from them. You are their child, their echo, their dream. This is the 57th truth. We are born of nebulas, children of clouds lit by fire, wanderers from cradles of light. Block 9, the Great Galactic Journey. Though the stars above us seem still, frozen like jewels upon velvet, the truth is that nothing in the galaxy is ever at rest. The Milky Way itself is in constant motion, a wheel of stars turning slowly yet ceaselessly, its spiral arms sweeping like the hands of a cosmic clock. Our sun, Earth, and every star you see in the night sky are part of this great dance, circling the galactic center in a journey so vast that no single lifetime could notice its progress. This is the 58th truth. The Milky Way is alive with motion. Every star a traveler, every orbit part of a greater dance. Our sun drifts along this path at an astonishing speed, more than 800,000 kilometers per hour. Yet we do not feel it, for everything around us moves as well. It is like sailing on a ship so immense you cannot see its edges, moving so smoothly you forget you are moving at all. One full orbit of the galaxy takes about 225 million years. The last time the sun completed such a journey, the first dinosaurs were walking upon the Earth. By the time it completes the next, the Earth may look entirely different, reshaped by time, perhaps with new continents, new oceans, or perhaps no longer bearing life at all. This is the 59th truth. A galactic year is 225 million Earth years, and in that time, worlds rise and vanish while the galaxy turns on. Imagine this path now. The sun and its planets following a slow curve, not in a neat circle, but in a wavy path that bobs above and below the galactic plane, like a horse on a carousel rising and falling as it circles the center. This oscillation takes tens of millions of years, a slow rhythm added to the greater orbit. Earth, then, is not only circling the sun, not only spinning on its axis, but drifting in this immense spiral, weaving upward and downward, a small bead sliding on the thread of the galaxy's orbit. This is the 60th truth. The Earth does not stand still in space, but moves on 3 journeys at once: rotation, orbit around the sun, and orbit with the sun around the galaxy. Close your eyes and picture this. Hundreds of billions of stars, each with their own systems, all circling, all drifting, none fixed in place. Clusters swirl, arms rotate, dust streams stretch and dissolve, and yet the pattern holds, the spiral shape remaining though every part of it moves. It is like a whirlpool, the water never the same, yet the form enduring. To live within the Milky Way is to live inside motion itself, to rest within a dance that has no beginning and no end. This is the 61st truth. The galaxy is not a fixed picture, but a living flow. A pattern renewed every moment, though no star remains the same. And this movement is not random. It is guided, shaped by gravity, the invisible hand that keeps the whole turning. The stars do not fly apart. They orbit with steady loyalty, their paths written by the silent gravity of the black hole at the center, by the dark matter halo that surrounds the galaxy, by the collective weight of billions of suns. Each orbit is a thread in a tapestry, woven not by chance, but by the quiet laws of nature that never falter. This is the 62nd truth. The galaxy turns because gravity conducts it, a silent music that the stars obey. Now rest in that image. The sun carrying you, the earth carrying you, the galaxy carrying you. You are not still, even as you lie down. You are moving faster than you can imagine, yet you are safe, steady, part of a motion so vast, it feels like stillness. To breathe is to move with it, to dream is to travel with it, to sleep is to drift on its endless journey. This is the 63rd truth. Even in sleep, you are a voyager, carried across the galaxy on a journey too vast to see. Block 10. Worlds beyond counting. Look up at the soft band of the Milky Way stretching across the night sky, and try to imagine what it truly contains. Each point of light you see is a star, and around many of those stars, there are planets. Some are small, rocky, and warm. Others are cold and giant, cloaked in clouds and storms. In the past few decades, astronomers have confirmed thousands of exoplanets in our galaxy, and they believe there may be billions more waiting to be discovered. The Milky Way is not just a sea of stars. It is a sea of worlds, each with its own story, its own possibilities. This is the 64th truth. The Milky Way is filled not only with stars, but with countless planets, far more than we could ever imagine. Some of these worlds may be barren, endless deserts of rock or spheres of frozen ice. Others may be covered in oceans deeper than anything on Earth, or wrapped in atmospheres of gas that shimmer with storms the size of continents. Some may orbit close to their suns, glowing red with heat, while others wander in darkness, far from light, frozen yet still circling in the galaxy's embrace. This is the 65th truth. The diversity of planets in the Milky Way defies imagination, ranging from fiery giants to frozen wanderers. Among them, there are some that may be like Earth, orbiting in the habitable zone where liquid water can exist, where conditions might allow life to arise. Perhaps there are forests under alien skies, or oceans beneath distant suns, or clouds drifting above plains that no human eye has ever seen. We do not know, but the numbers tell us that in a galaxy so vast, life may not be rare. It may be waiting, quietly, on worlds we have yet to find. This is the 66th truth. In a galaxy of billions of stars and planets, it is likely that life has taken root beyond Earth. Close your eyes and drift with that thought. Imagine civilizations far away, rising and falling long before we existed, or waiting now in silence, hidden by distance, their signals too faint to reach us yet. Imagine that somewhere, under another sky, another being looks upward and wonders if they are alone just as we do. In that reflection, in that parallel question, there is kinship, even if we never meet. This is the 67th truth. To wonder about life beyond Earth is to recognize ourselves in the vastness, to know we are part of a shared story. And in this moment, as you rest, you too are part of that story. The atoms in your body, forged in stars, may someday drift into new clouds, new planets, new beings. You are not separate from the galaxy's life. You are one of its voices, one of its experiments, one of its many ways of dreaming itself into being. This is the 68th truth. Life is the galaxy's way of awakening, of looking at itself and asking what it is. If these thoughts bring you peace, let them ripple outward. Leave a like, share a comment, subscribe to return to this quiet path. Just as the galaxy is built of countless stars, this journey is built of countless small gestures, each shining like a star, each sustaining the light for others. Your presence here is part of that constellation, keeping this river of dreams alive. This is the 69th truth. Small acts of support shine like stars, lighting the way for others who drift through sleepless nights. Now breathe, slowly, deeply, and imagine the Milky Way not as something far away, but as your neighborhood, your home, filled with worlds beyond counting, each one part of the same great family of light. You are not alone. You are never alone. You are held in a galaxy that carries more worlds than you will ever see, and perhaps more lives than you will ever know. This is the 70th truth. To live in the Milky Way is to live in a family of stars and worlds, an endless home beyond counting. Block 11. Messengers of ice and stone. Drifting across the immense body of the Milky Way are not only stars, planets, and glowing nebulae, but also a countless multitude of smaller travelers. Fragments of stone, ice, and dust that wander through space in silence. These are the comets, the asteroids, the meteoroids, bodies too small to shine with their own light, yet carrying within them the memory of creation. They are the leftover pieces, the crumbs of galactic birth, fragments of ancient collisions and frozen reservoirs of the earliest materials of the galaxy. To many, they may seem insignificant, but in truth, they are messengers, carrying stories of origins older than life itself. This is the 71st truth. The Milky Way is filled with wanderers of ice and stone, countless messengers that drift silently through the darkness, holding the memory of beginnings. Comets are among the most breathtaking of these wanderers. In the depths of darkness, far from any star, they are invisible, frozen, waiting. But when their long elliptical paths bring them near the warmth of a sun, their silence transforms into brilliance. Ice vaporizes, dust streams outward, and a luminous tail unfurls, stretching for millions of kilometers, glowing like a banner carried through the heavens. To ancient eyes, these apparitions were omens, fiery streaks that arrived without warning, crossing the ordered sky with wild unpredictability. Some cultures feared them, others revered them, but all recognized in them something powerful. A disruption of the ordinary, a reminder that the sky itself was alive and changing. This is the 72nd truth. Comets carry the untouched memory of the galaxy's earliest days, blazing into visibility only when the warmth of stars awakens their hidden fire. Asteroids tell another story. They are rocky remnants, fragments of worlds that never came to be, shards from collisions that shattered planets before they were fully formed. Some drift alone, solitary boulders tumbling endlessly in the dark. Others gather in swarms, belt-circling stars like rivers of rubble, places of ceaseless collisions where stone strikes stone, creating smaller fragments that continue the cycle. Though small compared to stars and planets, asteroids hold enormous influence. Their impacts reshape landscapes, carve craters, tilt the balance of life. Earth itself bears the scars of such encounters, and perhaps owes its very story to them. For one such impact, 65 million years ago, ended the reign of the dinosaurs, clearing the way for mammals, and eventually humans, to rise. This is the 73rd truth. Even the smallest stones of the galaxy hold power, for their strikes can alter the fate of worlds. And then there are meteors, fragments so small they burn upon entering atmospheres, streaking across skies as falling stars. To us, they are moments of wonder, flashes of light lasting only a second, yet they are reminders of the galaxy's ceaseless rain of debris. Earth sweeps through dust left behind by comets, producing showers that return year after year, a rhythm of sparks across the night. Each streak is a fragment of something older than Earth itself, a grain of dust traveling millions of years before meeting its end in a brief flare of beauty. This is the 74th truth. Even dust in the galaxy carries eternity within it, burning in a heartbeat yet born of ancient journeys. And beyond these familiar travelers are the true wanderers, bodies cast out of their home systems, set adrift between stars. In recent years, astronomers glimpsed such interstellar visitors, strange elongated forms, tumbling silently as they passed through our solar system. One was named Oumuamua, a messenger from far away, its shape unlike anything we had seen, its path cutting swiftly through before vanishing back into darkness. Another, Comet Borisov, came blazing through, carrying ices that had never touched our sun, ices forged in a distant system, perhaps orbiting a star we may never know. These interstellar objects remind us that the galaxy is not a set of isolated islands. It is a web, a place where matter travels, where what is born in one place may pass through another, carrying secrets across unimaginable distances. This is the 75th truth. The Milky Way is a place of shared journeys, where even stones and ice can cross between stars, carrying messages from worlds we will never see. Close your eyes now and imagine drifting with them, not as a blazing comet, not as a fragment striking a planet, but as a silent wanderer, cold and patient, crossing the vast distances between suns. Centuries pass like seconds, millennia like moments. Around you the stars move, but you continue, unhurried, endless. You are a traveler of ice and stone, carrying with you the memory of where you began, uncertain of where you will end. In their silence, in their loneliness, there is peace, for even the smallest bodies of the galaxy are part of its great unfolding story. This is the 76th truth. Even in silence, even in smallness, the wanderers of the galaxy remind us that nothing is wasted, that every fragment has a role to play. Block 12. The halo beyond the light. When we picture the Milky Way, we think of its shining disk, the spiral arms curling like ribbons of light across the heavens. But the true body of the galaxy extends far beyond what we can see. Surrounding the disk is a vast, invisible sphere, the halo, a region filled with ancient stars, scattered clusters, and dark matter that holds the whole in its grip. Though faint, though nearly unseen, the halo is as much the Milky Way as the glowing band across the sky, the silent frame that gives the spiral its shape. This is the 77th truth. The Milky Way is larger than the river of stars we see, stretching into a halo that surrounds and sustains it. Within this halo drift some of the oldest stars in existence, relics of the galaxy's youth. These stars are poor in heavy elements, forged before the universe had made much beyond hydrogen and helium. They shine with a dim, steady light, their ages measured not in millions but in billions of years. They are survivors, guardians of memory, drifting high above the galactic plane in orbits stretched and tilted, reminding us that the Milky Way was not always what it is now. This is the 78th truth. The halo carries the elders of the galaxy, stars older than its arms, silent witnesses to its birth. Scattered throughout the halo are globular clusters, dense spheres of stars bound tightly together by gravity. Each cluster contains hundreds of thousands of suns, pressed so close that in their centers, the night sky would glow brighter than daylight on Earth. These clusters orbit the galaxy like satellites, circling slowly, their paths taking them far above and below the disk. They are jewels scattered in the dark, brilliant spheres that remind us of the richness hidden beyond what the eye can see. This is the 79th truth. The halo is adorned with globular clusters, jewels of ancient light circling far beyond the spiral arms. And then there is the unseen mass, the dark matter that saturates the halo. It cannot be touched or seen, but its weight is felt. Without it, the galaxy's arms would fly apart, the stars would drift away, the spiral would not hold. The halo is the skeleton, invisible but essential, the silent structure on which everything else depends. When we look at the Milky Way, we see only its skin. Its bones remain hidden, a framework of darkness holding the light in place. This is the 80th truth. The true strength of the Milky Way lies not in what we see, but in the invisible halo that surrounds it. Close your eyes now and picture yourself rising above the galaxy, past the bright arms, past the glow of nebulae, into the quiet of the halo. Below you lies the disk, spinning slowly, shining faintly like a coin in the dark. Around you drift the ancient stars, solitary, patient, shining with a light so old it feels eternal. You are in the outskirts now, where silence reigns, where light is rare, where the galaxy reveals its deeper body. And as you rest, let this thought cradle you, that even what is unseen has weight, even what is faint has meaning, and even at the edges of things, life continues. This is the 81st truth. The galaxy is not only its heart and arms, but also its edges, its quiet halo where silence and memory endure. Block 13. When galaxies collide, though the Milky Way feels eternal, stretching each night across our skies with its soft river of stars, it is not an isolated or unchanging thing. Galaxies move, drawn by invisible cords of gravity, carried along currents that stretch across the universe. And when they meet, they do not pass silently. They merge, intertwine, and remake themselves in events so vast that they reshape billions of stars at once. From far away, these encounters would appear as slow dances, arms stretching and curling, light bending into spirals, halos overlapping. To us, they seem like cataclysms. Yet within, they are often gentle, for even as galaxies collide, the distances between stars are so immense that few, if any, will touch. What changes is the pattern, the orbits, the great architecture of the whole. This is the 82nd truth. Galaxies are not fixed islands, but travelers destined to meet, merge, and transform into something new. The Milky Way has lived through many such encounters. In its youth, it swallowed smaller galaxies, weaving their stars into its body. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy is being consumed even now, its stars stretched into tidal streams that wrap around us like ribbons. The remnants of the Gaia Enceladus galaxy, absorbed long ago, still shape the motions of stars within the halo. Other faint streams, like the Magellanic Clouds, still circle as companions, their light fragile but steady, destined one day to be drawn inward as well. Each encounter leaves scars, written in the paths of stars, in the tilts of clusters, in the subtle ripples across the disk of the galaxy. This is the 83rd truth. The Milky Way is not whole on its own, but a mosaic stitched from galaxies it has consumed, each leaving traces in its light. And ahead lies the greatest union of all, the meeting with the Andromeda Galaxy. Already it approaches across the dark 2.5 million light-years away, closing at a speed of 110 kilometers per second. The sky we know will not remain the same. In 4 billion years, Andromeda will loom enormous, stretching across the night, brighter and larger than the Milky Way itself appears to us now. The two galaxies will interlace, arms pulled into long streamers, stars flung into new orbits, halos mixing like waves upon waves. For billions of years they will dance, until at last they fuse into one immense system, perhaps elliptical, perhaps something stranger, a new being born from the death of the old. This is the 84th truth. The destiny of the Milky Way is not solitude but union, a marriage with Andromeda that will birth a new galaxy. Close your eyes and imagine that future sky. Imagine standing on some quiet world when Andromeda fills the heavens, larger than the moon, brighter than any constellation, its arms stretching like rivers of fire. Imagine two galaxies woven together, a cosmic embrace that takes billions of years, yet feels inevitable, patient, eternal. If life survives to see it, the stars above them will no longer be only the Milky Ways, but a mixture, a shared tapestry of light. Billions of suns from two galaxies now joined. This is the 85th truth. Collisions in the cosmos are not endings but transformations, and the future sky will glow with light from a union we cannot yet fathom. And as you rest with this thought, remember that change is written even in the stars. The Milky Way, which feels eternal, is itself only a stage in a longer story, a chapter in the life of the universe. To live within it is to live in the middle of a dance that has been going on since the dawn of time, a dance that will continue long after us, carrying stars, worlds, and perhaps even dreams into shapes not yet imagined. This is the 86th truth. Nothing in the universe is final, not even galaxies, for all things are part of a story that unfolds without end. Block 14, the future beyond union. The Milky Way, the home we know as a spiral river of stars flowing across the night, is not as eternal as it seems. To our eyes, it feels infinite, stretching across centuries, unchanged and unwavering. But its very structure is in motion, guided by a force older than stars themselves. Even now, far beyond the reach of unaided vision, a silent partner approaches, the Andromeda Galaxy. A vast spiral like our own, drifting closer with each second. Though the sky above us looks still, Andromeda is falling toward us at a speed of nearly 400,000 kilometers per hour, an invisible descent that will continue for billions of years until the two galaxies, long separated, finally touch. This meeting is not violent in the way we imagine collisions on Earth. Stars are so far apart that they will almost never strike directly. Instead, their gravity will entangle, arms will stretch like ribbons, dust clouds will collide and flare with bursts of new stars, and in time the two galaxies will become one. This is the 87th truth. The Milky Way's spiral form is temporary. Its elegant arms will be drawn outward, its familiar core reshaped, and in their place a new, larger galaxy will rise, born of union with Andromeda, vast and luminous. Now imagine what that sky will look like. Today, the Milky Way is a faint pale band, fragile to the naked eye, barely visible even under the darkest night. But in the future, after the merger begins, the sky will blaze. Andromeda will swell, larger and brighter with each passing million years, until it dominates the heavens, a second river of stars stretching across the night. To anyone alive then, the constellations will no longer hold. Orion's belt will break apart, the Dipper will dissolve, the Southern Cross will twist into something unrecognizable. In their place, countless new stars drawn from both galaxies will flood the sky, clustering in strange, dense patterns. Constellations as we know them will vanish, and new shapes will be born, new myths will be carved from the light. This is the 88th truth. Constellations are fleeting, delicate illusions made of shifting lights, and in the far future they will be replaced by new patterns, new legends, and new ways of imagining the sky. But beyond patterns, think of the experience. To gaze upward in that age would be to see a night not gentle, but overwhelming, filled with brightness that reaches every corner of vision. Imagine entire civilizations, perhaps still alive on worlds we cannot name, staring upward at a sky so crowded with stars that the darkness between them seems to shrink. They will not call their galaxy the Milky Way or Andromeda. They will call it simply their home, a singular universe of light above their heads, woven from suns that once belonged to separate families but now glow together. For them, the story of merger will not be a scientific prediction. It will be reality, the very air of their myths, the very canvas of their legends. Just as ancient humans once looked at a faint streak and told stories of gods and hunters, so too will those future eyes look at an overwhelming blaze and tell their own. This is the 89th truth. A galaxy, whatever its form, becomes home for those who live within it. Its name, its history, its scars, they matter less than the fact that it holds worlds, sustains life, and offers a sky from which wonder can be drawn. And still, this future will not last forever. Galaxies, like stars, like all things, fade. Once the merger settles, once the chaos of collision calms, the new galaxy, Milky Way, as some call it, will shine brightly for countless ages. But stars are finite. Gas clouds will thin, new stars will form more slowly, light will dwindle. The future sky will not always blaze with newborn suns. It will grow quieter, older, dimmer, until only remnants remain. And beyond even that, the universe itself will stretch, expand, and cool, pulling galaxies apart until even their light cannot reach across the growing dark. This is the fate written in physics, though it lies so far beyond us that our imaginations struggle to hold it. This is the 90th truth. Even as galaxies merge and transform, even as light fades and futures unfold, what matters most is the present glow, the stars above us now, the arms that still cradle us, the beauty we can see and feel tonight. For the Milky Way is not yet gone. It still surrounds us, it still breathes, it still turns quietly, carrying our small world within its arms. So let yourself rest in that. Do not hold fear for the future, nor cling to permanence that the cosmos cannot give. Instead, find comfort in knowing that the galaxy is alive around you right now, flowing, merging, and yet still here, still luminous. As you close your eyes, you are drifting in the arms of something larger than time, something vast and gentle, something that holds you even as it moves toward its future. Block 15, Humanity within the galaxy. When you look up at the stars, it is easy to imagine that you are something small, standing apart from the cosmos, gazing at a distant stage where great fires burn. But this is an illusion born of perspective. You are not outside the Milky Way watching it from afar. You are inside it, woven into its fabric, born from its substance, carried along its vast arms every moment of your life. The iron flowing through your blood, the calcium shaping your bones, the oxygen filling your lungs, none of it is native only to Earth. It was all forged in the hearts of ancient stars. Those stars lived long before your birth, burned with unimaginable intensity, and then died in vast explosions, scattering their elements into the galaxy. Over eons, those scattered atoms gathered into clouds, clouds condensed into planets, and on one of those worlds, those atoms awoke. They became aware, they began to wonder, they became you. This is the 91st truth. Humanity is not separate from the Milky Way. We are its children, born of its stars, shaped from its dust and sustained by its light. Pause and feel that truth in your body. Every breath you take is filled with oxygen that once glowed in the heart of a giant sun. Every heartbeat is powered by iron that was flung into space by a supernova. Every step you take rests on calcium formed in stars so ancient their names are forgotten even by time. This is not poetry alone, it is reality. To exist as a human is to be a fragment of the galaxy walking, thinking, and feeling. When you close your eyes at night, when your body grows heavy and drifts into rest, it is as though the galaxy itself is resting within you, slowing its rhythm, breathing through your lungs, dreaming through your mind. This is the 92nd truth. You are not only in the galaxy is in you, echoing within your cells, shining quietly in the substance of your being. And yet, the modern world makes us forget. The glow of city lights hides the Milky Way from our vision. The hum of machines, the rush of hours, The noise of our days dulls our memory of where we belong. We look downward, not upward. We forget that above us stretches a river of stars. But if you step away from the noise, if you find a night untouched by lamps, and if you lift your eyes, you will see it. The pale, fragile arc of the Milky Way glowing across the sky. That is no distant decoration. That is your home seen from within, the spiral arm stretching outward like a path of light in the dark. Each star you see is a neighbor, each cluster a memory, each faint glow a reminder that you are not separate but embraced. This is the 93rd truth. To see the Milky Way is to see your own origin written in light. To remember that you are not lost, not isolated, but carried within its arms as surely as the earth itself. So tonight, let yourself rest in that embrace. Your body is not a stranger to the cosmos. It is its offspring, a miniature of the vast whole, condensed into a fragile shape that can think and dream. Your thoughts, fleeting though they are powered by the same forces that move galaxies. Your breath is drawn in rhythm with the movements of stars. Even your dreams, intangible as mist, are born from the same quiet order that governs planets and suns. When you lie down and allow yourself to surrender to rest, you are not falling away from life. You are sinking back into it, returning to the rhythm that created you, that sustains you, that carries you still. This is the 94th truth. To sleep, to breathe, to exist, is to participate in the life of the galaxy. To be a moment of awareness within its endless unfolding. To be its child and its reflection. To be both small and infinite all at once. And if you can hold that thought as you drift, you may feel something shift within you. The galaxy is not a faraway mystery. It is your home, your body, your very breath. You are not gazing at stars from the outside. You are one of them, glowing faintly, resting quietly and waiting for tomorrow's light. Block 16. At the edge of the Milky Way. The Milky Way appears infinite when we look at it with our eyes, stretched across the night like a river of light with no beginning and no end. It seems eternal, seamless, flowing endlessly through the dark. And yet, though its arms curl outward, though its light spreads wide, the galaxy does have boundaries. Not walls, not sharp lines, but edges, soft, invisible thresholds where its pull begins to fade, where its stars thin out, where its gravity loosens its hold, and where its dominion surrenders to the vastness beyond. To imagine these edges is to imagine standing in a place where measure and distance dissolve, where time seems to grow still, where silence presses in from every direction. This is the 95th truth. The Milky Way has edges, unseen but real, where the embrace of home ends and the greater universe begins. At these edges, in the galactic halo, ancient companions drift. Globular clusters, spheres of stars held tightly by gravity, orbit the galaxy like scattered jewels, circling far above and below the disk. Within each cluster burn hundreds of thousands of suns, packed so closely that from within their cores, night would not be night at all but a perpetual blaze. These clusters are among the oldest objects we know, their stars born when the universe itself was young, when elements were simple, when light was still learning to spread. To look at them is to peer through the veil of time, to see fossils of creation glowing faintly, witnesses to epochs long vanished. This is the 96th truth. The halo of the galaxy carries its elders, clusters that preserve the light of beginnings, guardians of memory orbiting at the edge of sight. But even beyond these clusters lie stranger fates. Not all stars remain bound. Some, through the violence of collisions, through the grip of black holes, through the chaos of merging galaxies, are cast free. They are hurled into intergalactic space, untethered, unanchored, carrying with them planets, debris, perhaps even the faint chance of life. These stars travel alone, wandering through distances so great that they may never meet another system again. They are lanterns adrift in an infinite sea, rare but real, reminders that even the galaxy cannot hold everything it births. This is the 97th truth. Some stars escape the Milky Way, flung into the void to wander forever between galaxies, carrying silence as their only companion. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing at such an edge, looking both inward and outward. Behind you lies the spiral, arms faintly glowing, rivers of stars flowing in patient orbits, nebulae shimmering, planets circling in the hidden quiet of their suns. That is the home you know, the structure that cradles you, the light that has shaped you. Ahead of you lies emptiness, the intergalactic dark, vast beyond comprehension, cold and without landmark, where light takes millions of years to find its way. You stand between embrace and release, between shelter and infinity. At first, such an image may seem frightening. To leave behind the galaxy is to leave behind everything familiar, everything that has ever been. But linger longer in this thought, and something shifts. The edge does not feel like an ending. It feels like a passage. It feels like a threshold, a doorway through which one may step from what is known into what is not. The galaxy does not end in silence. It hands you gently to the wider universe. It opens itself outward, saying, "Here is more, here is beyond, here is freedom." This is the 98th truth. The edge of the galaxy is not an end, but a beginning. A threshold where home dissolves into possibility, where belonging becomes journey, and where silence becomes invitation. Now imagine drifting outward from that edge, slowly leaving the arms behind. The Milky Way grows smaller, fading from a vast river of light into a luminous spiral, glowing faintly against blackness. Then it shrinks further, until it is no more than a single galaxy among countless others, a delicate whirl suspended in an infinite web. To see it so is to realize that even what feels immense to us is but one form among billions, one light among endless lights. And yet, it remains precious, for it is ours. It is where we were born, where our atoms were shaped, where our history unfolds. To drift away is to see its fragility, its beauty, its uniqueness, even as we acknowledge that beyond it stretches more, always more. To rest in this thought, the edge of the Milky Way is not a limit to your imagination. It is an opening. It is the place where the known meets the unknown, where safety meets wonder, where the comfort of belonging gives way to the exhilaration of possibility. And as you breathe slowly, as your body grows heavy, as your thoughts soften, remember that you are not only within the galaxy, but also standing at its edge in spirit, looking both inward at the home that carries you and outward at the infinite dark that invites you. Both belong to you. Both hold you. Both are part of your rest. Block 17, the meaning of the galaxy. When we look at the Milky Way, we often think of it as something outside of us, a river of light stretched across the heavens, unreachable and distant. And yet, the more we allow ourselves to reflect, the more we sense that the galaxy is not a thing apart, but something of which we are inseparably part. For billions of years it has existed, turning quietly, forming stars and worlds long before our kind opened its eyes. It needed no witness, no story, no words to be what it is. But now, in this small window of time, it holds us within its arms, and through us for the first time, it sees itself. For what are we, if not the galaxy becoming aware, the universe reflecting upon its own beauty, the matter of stars awakening to dream? This is the 99th truth. The Milky Way is more than a spiral of stars. It is a mirror of awareness, a vast home that allows the universe to wonder about itself through us. Think of this. When you lift your eyes to the galaxy, you are not only looking at distant light, you are looking at your own origin. Every atom that makes you was forged in its fires. Every breath you take is sustained by its rhythms. Every heartbeat is written in its history. The galaxy is not an image above you. It is the fabric beneath you, the air within you, the story that carries you forward. Its stars are not strangers. They are your ancestors. Its light is not foreign. It is the glow that gave you life. To see it is to see yourself spread wide across the sky, infinite and eternal, a reflection of what you already are. And yet the paradox is that when we gaze upon it, we also feel how small we are. We feel the brevity of our lives compared to the billions of years it has endured. We feel the fragility of our world compared to the endless orbits of its stars. We feel the fleeting nature of our concerns when set against the slow patience of its arms. To see the galaxy is to be humbled, to recognize how delicate we are, how temporary, how fragile in the face of immensity. And still, at the very same time, to see the galaxy is to be exalted. To realize how extraordinary it is that we are here at all, that we can notice, that we can feel awe, that in us, the universe has found a way to pause and reflect. Imagine now closing your eyes beneath its glow. Imagine breathing slowly, deeply, as though in rhythm with the slow turning of the spiral itself. With each breath, you feel less separate, less distant. With each heartbeat, you feel yourself aligning with its quiet pulse. The galaxy is not something above you, it is something flowing through you. You are not gazing at it from the outside, you are gazing at it from within. The same atoms that once burned in supernovae now move in your blood. The same light that shines across billions of years now enters your eyes. The same gravity that holds stars in their orbits now holds you to the earth. To rest is to surrender to this truth, to feel yourself carried not only by your bed, not only by your planet, but by the Milky Way itself, an arm around you as vast as infinity. And if you allow yourself to drift deeper into that awareness, something becomes clear. You are not small, you are not lost, you are not adrift. You are exactly where you belong, in the embrace of the galaxy, in the body of the universe, in the center of its story. For all its immensity, for all its silence, for all its unfathomable age, the Milky Way holds you. It includes you. It makes you possible. And in that truth there is comfort, there is stillness, there is peace. So let this be your thought tonight, as you surrender to rest. You are not separate from the galaxy. You are the galaxy. You are its dust, its fire, its memory. You are its dream, its reflection, its question. You are the universe gazing back upon itself with wonder. And as you fall into sleep, you are not falling away. You are falling into belonging, into wholeness, into the quiet arms of a spiral that has been turning since long before you, and will continue to turn long after. Block 18, the final truth. The Milky Way has been our companion through this long journey, guiding us across arms of light, through clouds of dust, into the depths of its halo, and out toward its unseen edges. We have followed the lives of its stars, their births and their deaths. We have traced its past collisions and glimpsed its future union with Andromeda. We have stood in imagination at its borders, where its gravity fades into the infinite dark, and we have looked inward into ourselves to see that the galaxy is not outside us, but within us. 99 truths have unfolded like lanterns, one after another, carrying us deeper into understanding. And now, at last, we arrive at the 100th truth, the final realization. the one that gathers all the others into a single thought so vast that it is not merely knowledge, but peace. This is the 100th truth. The Milky Way is home. Not just for stars, not just for planets, not just for clusters or comets or drifting dust, but for you. For every breath you take, for every dream you carry, for every moment of wonder you have ever felt beneath its light. The galaxy is not a backdrop. It is not scenery. It is the house of your atoms, the cradle of your body, the silent arm that holds you every second of your life. Think of what that means. For billions of years, the galaxy existed without you, without us, spinning patiently, weaving stars from dust, scattering elements into its arms, preparing the way for life long before life arrived. And yet now, for this brief and precious moment in time, you are alive within it. You are not apart from it. You are not standing beneath it, gazing upward as if it were something distant. You are already inside it, already part of it, already woven into its being. When you rest tonight, you rest not in isolation, but in the embrace of a spiral that stretches 100,000 light years across. You rest in the arms of something so vast that it cannot be measured, yet so gentle that it carries you without effort. Close your eyes and imagine it. The river of stars above you is not a decoration in the sky. It is your roof, your shelter, your horizon. The ground beneath you, the air around you, the breath in your lungs, the rhythm of your heart, all of it belongs to the galaxy. All of it was born in its stars. All of it will one day return to its dust. The Milky Way is not a place you visit. It is a place you are. Every second you live is a second you spend inside it, carried by its arms, circled around its center, folded into its light. And though our lives are brief, though our years are but flickers compared to the ages of stars, that brevity does not make us small. It makes us luminous. For in this small moment of time, the galaxy has awakened in us the ability to notice it, to love it, to rest in it. We are the way the Milky Way feels its own beauty. We are its eyes, its awareness, its dream. And when we close our own eyes, when we surrender to sleep, we are returning that dream to it, allowing it to continue, to flow, to expand within us and beyond us. So tonight, as you sink deeper into rest, let the final truth hold you. You are not separate from the galaxy. You are not lost within it. You are at home. You are safe. You are part of a story older than time, older than Earth, older than even the arms that now cradle you. To know this truth is to release fear, to release restlessness, to allow yourself to breathe with the same slow rhythm that turns the stars. This is the 100th truth. The Milky Way is home. Not a place you travel to, but the place you have always been. It is your beginning and your continuation. It is the silence that holds you, the light that shapes you, the embrace that will never let you go. And now, before we part, let me invite you to keep this journey alive. If these truths have brought you peace, if this story has reminded you of your place in something greater, share your reflections in the comments. Tell us what the galaxy whispered to you tonight. And if you wish to keep wandering through the stars, if you wish to continue resting in the arms of the cosmos, remember to like this video, to share it with those who also long for peace, and to subscribe to this channel. Together, we will keep traveling through the universe, finding new truths, new horizons, and new places of rest beneath the stars. So now let go. Let the Milky Way cradle you as it always has. Let the final truth carry you into dreams. You are home. You are safe. You are the galaxy, and the galaxy is you.